That's your sketchbook.
Yeah, I don't show people
Oh
this.
my gosh. I'm like actually
That's
freaking out a little.
Yeah,
That's
the cover.
That's the cover. I want
That
this
was
so
around
bad.
the
I want
city.
this sketch so bad. Oh, here we go.
So here we are. That's
built
this. That's this.
Tyler, the creator. He launched his career at age 19 as part of the brash LA music collective Odd Future. A decade later, the provocative wunderkind has blossomed into a modern Renaissance man. Tyler has established himself as not just one of the most unique songwriters and electric performers on the planet, but as a cross-medium creative who designs fashion, formulates ice cream flavors, writes and directs videos, hosts his own music festival, and constantly sketches new ideas that he wants to bring alive inside his highly secretive moleskins. I profiled Tyler for Fast Company in 2018, what now seems like a lifetime ago, before he had a pair of #1 albums and performed frequently on network television. I found Tyler to be the epitome of himself. Tyler has a penchant for fast cars and fuzzy hats, hot takes, and fire beats. We met up again at the end of 2021 for 2 days on top of a small mountain, where he constructed a blue Flintstone-style French fantasy to launch his high-end fashion line, Le Fleur.
I am just so happy to talk today. And I don't know how to open an interview like that, but it's true, because for the last, since we last talked, you've had 2 #1 records, and everything you've done just keeps getting elevated. The production design, the fashion, and everything's been growing more and more cohesive. And I guess that's the vision. Has that been the vision all along?
I just make stuff. I just make stuff I like at the time. And, I think as you get older, things get more refined and you become more of a sniper with your things if you want. But I think I've just become more of a sniper of what I'm trying to do. And I think I live life.
Yeah.
Like I go and do stuff and it's shown in my work.
Yeah.
So whether it's shown in my work through sound or through cloth or through visual stuff, it feels cohesive because of that, because I'm just, that's what it is, so.
Right. It's basically like your lifestyle translated into your art.
Pretty much. At least that shows I'm not a liar.
Or your whole life is a lie.
Or my whole life is a lie.
So
I'm fucking really good at this shit.
With his latest album, Call Me If You Get Lost, Tyler created a rich travel fantasy during the global pandemic.
I started writing this stuff December 2019. And then I recorded 3 songs real quick, and then we got on the plane to Australia. And I was like, oh man, I just want to make songs. How could I articulate this? When you hear a song and it's oh, I know exactly what he's talking about because I do that same thing.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it was.
I drive to the Costco, I'm hanging out. Yeah,
literally.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what you just said, you're driving to Costco. If you made a rap song, I want to hear about you driving to Costco because that's what you love to do. And I want to hear about the food you're going to buy because that's the shit that you love to eat. And I want to hear about what you're specifically wearing because that is the clothes that you like to wear.
Kirkland brand only.
The car that you're specifically driving, I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
I like hearing about people's things that they love. So that's what I did for this album. So it's just me talking or being braggadocious or whatever about the shit that I love, whether it's a blue this or this specific car, or I'm going to this place, or I'm swimming in this water, or I'm eating macaroons. I wanted to just hear music when I'm playing my rap music in the car loud. Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing, because that's what I'm doing. I just wanted to hear that.
But you make an album largely about travel. Everybody loves to travel though, right?
Not everyone. That's the thing.
You don't think everybody actually loves
everyone
adventure.
doesn't like to travel.
Yeah.
Everybody
thinks they like to travel?
Well, no, some people do, but some people just are very comfortable and just where they're at. That's not a bad thing. I'm not implying that that's bad.
Right.
I don't want to sound dismissive towards that, but some people actually don't like to travel. I think traveling to New York and London when I was 19 years old changed everything for me.
Yeah.
Because I've never left LA. So when that happened, everything I thought just went out the window. I just started making music different and this and that. That opened my eyes.
What did you see traveling that changed you specifically? Do you remember moments?
Yeah, when I went to New York and it was cold.
You're what is?
No.
How do you live
listen,
here?
My view is skewed on what cold is, or the winter. So when I went to New York for the first time, I needed a real jacket.
Yeah.
Because it was cold, and I'm just I'm just shell shocked. So they're like, you got to go get a new jacket. So they're telling me what goose down is, like stuff I don't know about. We had a North Face out here, but it closed down because it doesn't get cold enough. So they're telling me, I'm learning about what Canadian goose is and what these jackets are and what heat tech is, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of that is. And just that moment, how much random information I got about fucking duck feathers.
At like 19 or 20.
At like 19, it just was like, oh, I didn't know this was a thing. They had salt because it was snowing. So they had salt and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is this for? And they were telling me, and I'm like, bro, I'm from LA. I just didn't know. So at that moment, and I've always been a curious kid, but like when you're just thrown in a place that's just not your environment, the information you learn as soon as you land is just, and I love it. I love that. Bring it like this a bit. Yeah. And then scoot it that way just a tad bit. Push it in closer just a little bit more. Keep going.
I feel like being here, like I feel like I get to be like literally a little bit in the album. It's like what you wear in the album. I feel like it's the smell of the album, right? Like this completed painting that goes along with fashion and it goes along with performance and everything else. Do you ditch a lot of ideas? Like when you're doing this, I mean, all of this snowballed
Man, I have
into...
so many, I just go through so much shit. I take a bridge from that and put it here because it works better with this structure.
So you don't mind, like as a writer, I hate throwing writing away.
I don't know, dude, you could come back to it. Like I don't get married to things. Like it's like, oh no, this will work better here. You know, it's okay to move on and switch things up and come back to it later. I started See You Again. That came out 2017. I started that in 14, right when I first met Callie. Gone Gone Thank You off of Igor. That original beat and drum pattern was for Wolf. Sometimes I'm not ready for things like, man, I'll probably go through a weird denim phase, a weird Japanese like denim phase in like 4 years. I'll probably go through an all black wearing eyeliner phase in 6, 7. But I said this early on. I was like, dude, I'll definitely, you know, sometimes I'm just not there yet. I wore all black 3 weeks ago to an event and it was nice. And I was like, I'll do that probably in 2 years and really dive into it.
In the rolls.
Yes.
Is it weird riding in this car when you drive one?
Not really. It's kind of just like Uber. I steal my style from old men and like France and like the illest like 5-year-olds you just see walking by. Once you hit like 57, you really don't give a fuck anymore. So, and you have so much experience of how things fit on you if you're not a dick fuck. I wore the sample version of this at the Grammys.
I feel like I've seen you in like this shirt.
For Igor. I love sweater vests so much. This color palette, this brown with this cream and this blue, you'll see a lot throughout. Like, I kind of design everything to kind of go with brown. I want people to come here and see it. Cause like when you just buy stuff off the internet, it's just a white background next to some other. People also bought this that, like, I don't want my shirt next to a line that I don't even fuck with, just so people could subconsciously one day even associate it, buy it, because I didn't make it for that. So this is super important to me because you get to see the world that this lives in and the smell that goes with it and the people that's in it and the music. Yesterday, you said if it was a skill I could get better at, and I wish I could get better at singing. But the thing is, my voice isn't yet suited for the way I want to sing. For the vocal phrasing that I attempt, my voice is too deep and raspy, which overtly, I think it ends up making it special.
You do have a great, rich, full of character voice, right? Like people
it's like,
would
man,
kill
I
for
don't want
that.
to always have to yell.
And it's you, right? And it's like, you can't hear your voice and not hear you.
Yeah, and people always say that, but
right, you've heard that
it's like, no, I know what I could do this all day. I could rap. I sound good when I rap just over drums. But even that, like the low tone in my voice sometimes, that frequency doesn't sound good with certain songs because it clashes, so it might sound out of tune. And it's like, I always got to do bass reduction. Like, fuck. Sometimes I wish I just had a nasally Jay-Z, Eminem, like, fucking voice. Even Ye, that just sounds good over anything. Like, Wayne's voice cuts through on any beat he goes on. Mine doesn't, bro. I just sound like a fucking monster on everything. But sometimes it's cool.
Untrue. Untrue. But yeah, when you want to sound like a monster, that's also cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned recently you were reconsidering, like, obviously you're tired of the creator, and you were like reconsidering potentially like adopting your surname more, which is, I believe if I pronounce it right, is Akonma.
Akoma.
Akoma.
So it's like, and excuse this stupid joke, but I had to do it in school because teachers wouldn't do it. They didn't know how to pronounce it correctly. So I would say, oh, he ain't died, he in a coma.
He's in a coma, right. So your surname's Akoma.
Fuck me for that joke.
One, I'm curious, when you adopted the stage name to begin with, like why you did that. And then two, I mean, are you really considering, you know, readopting your surname?
Well, my stage name,
stage
name was from, I made a MySpace page when I was 13, and I had 3 of them. One was regular for friends, another one was for something else, and then the third one was just ideas. I'll put drawings and like photos I would take, and like my beats, I would upload them on there. And then I start using that more, because random people from Kentucky and random shit would be like, cool beats, bro. And so I just kept the Tyler the Creator thing going. And then, you know, I'm 17 in high school and around LA, that name's getting around, and I kind of just kept it as my stage name. It's really dumb, but it stuck with me, so it just works. But yeah, my full name, Tyler Okoma, in all caps, just looks really cool. So you might see more of that. I don't know. I'm getting older, and I think when people get older, they start realizing shit and liking things they didn't like. You just start changing. So I think my version of that is looking at my name and saying, oh, this is actually cool.
I mean, you mentioned like it feeling like a very African name, right? And like it does, and it feels great because you don't hear that name a lot in the U.S., obviously.
Yeah, and you know, I didn't know my pops. So when I was a kid, not only did I like, I don't know anyone on that side of my family, so take that back. I don't know anyone on my dad's side. So my mom didn't have that last name. I had this last name. I didn't know anyone else that had a name even similar to it. So
it's literally foreign.
I was just like, it was so foreign to me, even in my household, even in where I was comfortable at. Like, it followed me, and I was just like, what is this? So I always thought my last name was weird, but whatever. I started fucking with it more around 2016, and then I started putting it on my album covers, all songs written or produced by Tyler Okoma, and I think I'm gonna keep that going. I really fuck with that name now. It looks really cool in all caps.
When Igor was nominated, when Igor won, I feel like you made a statement that just like took the air out of the room. Like, I think you cut through.
Man, I wasn't trying to be no fucking hero political dude.
It wasn't like that.
The dude asked a question, and
that's
I was
why
like,
it came out well.
In recent days, there's been a lot of news about the voting process at the Grammys. Has any of that affected the way that you're looking at winning this award today?
I'm half and half on it. On one side, I'm very grateful that what I made could just be, you know, acknowledged in a world like this. But also, it sucks that whenever we, and I mean guys that look like me, do anything that's genre bending or that's anything, they always put it in a rap or urban category, which is, and I don't like that urban word. It's just a politically correct way to say the N-word to me.
You're nominated again, obviously, same category.
Super sick.
Like, you know, it's awesome to be nominated, I'm sure, but how do you feel about like a rap nomination versus like a general album nomination? And also, how do you look
fine.
at
I
the
made
categories?
a rap album. Like, now I made the fucking rap
this
album.
This does feel like a rap album. I feel like this one's more fair.
No, yeah, I made the rap album. Dude, I'm just, it's just cool to be thought of for accolades like that when I'm just doing what I'm doing.
It feels like you're able to basically like appreciate the Grammys as like the pinnacle of like musical awards, but like, I don't know, centrifuge out some of the racism.
One of them.
Yeah.
One of them, because awards don't always mean a physical like thing. I always tell people, dude, Chief Keef has a song called Finito that's a fucking hit, but it wasn't like on billboards and he didn't get an award for it. But like, man, that shit is, it's like a street hit. I think that's what it's called. And it's always funny how those things work. Like that song is huge in this circle or this bubble, but it may not have hit a Grammy or a Billboard or a chart thing like that. I always find that really interesting. So you can get awarded in different ways. And for me, the Grammys is definitely one of those. And again, that's cool.
Yeah, you've also been performing in bigger stages too. It just feels like you are taking the opportunity right now to just like go out there and do it, which is obviously intentional. But doing a performance, is it because it's, you know, it's an extension of your art? Like it's another way to make a statement.
I love being able to perform on these things and do things that, I love being able to do what I did at the Grammys, because everyone is usually, the rain comes down and it's like the moment, it's like, no, I'm on fire and I'm gonna do a wig. We're gonna bring 80 niggas that look like me out. I'm gonna have Boyz II Men and Charlie Wilson come and we're gonna sing over a trash can like, you know, the New Jack Swing era, and we're gonna have a house and I'm gonna jump in fire, and then the next one I want wind. I just want wind. I just don't wanna get to my destination because the wind's blowing. Yeah, I'll do Massa at the American Music Awards because these people probably don't, if they do listen to me, they probably don't listen to album cuts. So yes, I'm gonna do an album cut that's serious and not surface level exciting on the AMAs, and I'm gonna be serious, and I'm not gonna move and yell and have fire. We're gonna stand in snow and be controlled and still and have people say, why the fuck did they tell this guy to come perform on here? This shit is boring. Even on Tyler standards, this isn't even a good performance. And you know what? That shit was so sick to me. It's controlled, it's that, and it's that, and it's the snow, and then the car comes at the same time, and I get to take that step off the steps on that snare. It's so sick.
And like I mean that song is amazing also because like it's a crescendo of emotion, right? Where the whole song is basically like a shift until you don't realize where you are at the end, right? And then for that performance, you do like the zoom in, right? And so it ends with you to camera, like looking at the audience.
I'm sitting there with we there at rehearsal. I'm saying, no, do this. We got to do this. No, y'all, zoom in. And you know, the camera guys there, they're used to cutting and getting the audience.
Like, how do you get them to do that?
Don't fucking do that. Yeah. Stay here. And I wasn't angry at that. I'm just like, but just stay here on me and zoom in. No, don't move. The attention span of everything now has even gone into mediums like a TV performance or things like that, like where they're like, no, we can't lose the viewer, so we have to cut and do this. And I'm like, but this piece is gonna live forever. I don't give a fuck about the viewer. This piece is gonna live forever. I'm in this, it's just me. We're gonna make this good. I want this good for my standards, good. I don't care about in the audience, I don't wanna get little cha-cha's fucking reaction. Okay, we don't need to change the thing. We stay fucking here and keep going in until the fucking moment I'm like, stop. And we're gonna get that. And then we're gonna zoom out when that thing comes. I'm gonna get on the back of that goddamn moped and we fuck it out. And it's gonna exist. And that's what it is. That's the idea.
You willing to talk about Virgil?
Man.
I mean, right, like people see this in a few weeks, but it's just this week.
When I first met Virgil, I think 2012 with Kanye, of course, blah, blah. And then like, I don't know, I'm not, when he was doing like the Pyrex and like Ben Trill stuff, I was just like, ugh.
Right, it was like taking overstock and stuff and screen printing on it.
I was just like, ugh, this is gross. But again, me and Rocky thought we hated each other. So anything that they were on, I was just instantly like, nah, fuck that, right? And then once he started doing the more recent stuff, Off-White stuff, I was just like, it's just not for me, but I still knew him. I would kind of mock it, like, whatever. And then, you know, I would see him here and there. He was always super nice, so
he was a super nice guy. Yeah.
And then time go on, we just started getting a cool relationship. And then he got the Louis Vuitton thing, and I was so hyped. I was like, oh, he went there. A guy that looks like me did that. Fire. Hit him with the congrats. Him and Ye hugged on the thing. I remember posting that as soon as it happened, because I was like, this is just so beautiful. Like, damn, he went there, and what he was doing there, bringing all these different worlds, and he had Lucien Clark there, and like just all these people, and I was like, this is so ill. So been cool in 2019. It was when I like decided like, oh dude, I think I'm gonna do this Le Fleur thing. And who really pushed me to do it was my boy Dev Hines, Solange, and Virgil. And I was like, yo man, I think I wanna do this thing, like just make really nice stuff. It's a separate world. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know I wanna make pants like this and pieces like this and trunks and just cool shit like
something
this.
different than what you've been doing for
what I've
a
been
long
doing.
time. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, what do you need? I'm like, well, I don't even know where to, here, give me a week. Bro, he put me in contact with people in Italy and here and there, emails on calls, like FaceTimes with people I don't know, introducing me. Like, and this was the week that I was going to say, hey, Virgil, what you helped me with, what you got me started with, what your helping hand did, I finally get to show you what you did. Like, and I was like, fuck. I wanted him here so bad to see like, hey, look what I did. Cause I wanted him to just say fire. And I wanted him to be like, no, like, and I always go out of my way to, whoever helped me or inspired, I always go out of my way to say like, no, you don't understand, thank you. And it was this week where I was gonna finally send that invite and say, hey, the next day I was gonna send an invite like, hey, I'm doing something this week, come see. Because he helped me get this here. This sweater is because of him. And I'm just like, all this shit is, I'm just like, dude, fuck. But now I just gotta go super duper, because he was about ideas and things like that. So like now it's like, okay, I just gotta keep pushing it forward. And he was always so supportive, playing Igor and Call Me If You Get Lost on his stuff. We would share ideas and just random stuff. It was a few days before I talked to him, like, yeah, I was like, man, the LV Human Made shit's my favorite, that red and white hat. And he was like, no, I'm gonna make that one for you because I love fuzzy hats, and it was that. So,
I mean, I don't saw his last show, but like he has a ton of fuzzy hats.
And I was just like, bro,
they're like feel inspired by
dude,
you to some extent.
I was like, yo, I'm gonna be in Paris. I don't know where to go. I have a few spots, but like, what's some other spots? You said, give me 2 days. He sent me a PDF, which like he just went out of his way.
Where do you have the energy? Like
he went out of his fucking way for everyone, and like, it even took me a while to realize that. And the relationship we had over the last 2 years was just so sick. The stuff that I could just share with him, like, oh, we could even talk about this being as dark as we are. Like, that's just so sick. And like, I just think he would have fucking loved this, but he'll be here in spirit. And like, I'm just happy that this could exist, knowing that he helped me push this forward for real.
It's like, it's amazing that you didn't just have a relationship. He put contacts on the table and made it happen.
Many people.
Like he literally, like, to a level, invested, right, in this.
Good-hearted. Yeah. I remember being weird, like, why he fuck with everybody, like, years ago. Not in a bad way, but
I mean, from the outside, he got along with everybody. I met him once.
Dude,
like,
everyone.
Really warm human being.
My hating, pretentious ass couldn't fathom that someone could have such an open heart like that. And it took me a while to understand that. And I'm just like, you are actually a fucking angel. Like, you're an angel, bro. Like, he left his imprint. He did that. He a giant. I mean, it's a giant. He did that. Did it. Stamped.
I hate that I have sunglasses on right now because it feels so like you can't see, like I'm crying. I'm like sitting here. I was like, I'm tearing up.
No,
You're talking.
I saw your body language. Okay. I had said something and you went down and you were trying. Yeah, I caught that. It's fine. We're human. It's okay.
Something that struck me about your latest album is that you have become more overt. And I feel like some of your messaging, like your last album is inspirational. Like you look at Run It Up, which is, I think you described it like the song of victory, which is like how I had categorized it.
Yeah.
But you know, you talk to the listener, right? Like directly. You are directly trying to inspire.
Live from the 310, the Green Goblin and Ben Tyers, that's my green car. No no lots, they send photos, I send wires. Like, man, the fact I'm at a place where I could just like see a car I like and just be like, yeah, I'll take it. Like, I'm not gonna see it, just here's the wires. Like, that's so fucking amazing. I'm so blessed. Yeah. No lots, they send photos, I send wire. Gumballs cool me down, can't fuck. Okay, rap. Help us see clear when the lighting was dim. We ain't nothing to you, but we something to them. It's crazy, like, I had a friend of mine who said, like, I hope no one gets angry at this. He said he doesn't know the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech, but he said he knows every Jay-Z lyric. Bro, Jay-Z is like his God, like his hero, like the things he was saying, he lives by, and that gives him that. Yeah. And like with rap music, like I grew up on it. So I just remember looking up at these figures like, dude, these are gods. These are gods to me. These are the heroes to us. So when I said, rap help us see clear when the lighting was dim, like, man, when shit's not going well, like, man, this music really uplifts these people and us. We're nothing to you, but we're something to them. Like, man, y'all might disregard us, but like, man, these guys are like gods to us. I hope no one takes that line out of context. Like, I don't think how dare he even say that to a white man, say Martin Luther King is not important like Jay-Z. It's like, bro, I didn't say that. Like, you're missing the point. People are gonna be like, I hate this motherfucker.
A side note on that song, which is much more superficial, when you say, I just might spend it all,
I believe you.
Oh.
I fully, like you say it, I'm like, I fully believe him right now. Dude, he will just spend all of his, he will just empty out his bank.
Just to see this, bro, I don't think, like, I'm not even gonna tell you the number that I spent, but it's like, it's fine because I wanna see the idea. By spend it all, it's not even money. It's more just like, I'm gonna go for it. Like, I'm gonna, fuck it, 110%. I'm gonna do it. I
have adrenaline. You were just talking about this song.
I quit that fucking FedEx job. I was just like, fuck it, dude. I didn't know what I was gonna do. And I went to New York and just was like, fuck it. Like, sometimes you just gotta spend it all. And it's not money, it's whatever it is you have that in. Help us see clear when the lighting was dim. We ain't nothing to you, but we something to them. I might just spend it all. Hey, you guys can start again. I'm done with this fucking interview. Thanks so much. Everyone here is so great. And if I could give all of you hugs and other things, I'll give everyone a hug once we're done. You guys are fucking rock stars.